Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope everybody's enjoying their day so far. Getting into this episode of GH. I don't blame Portia because at the end of the day, Portia's doing what any parent would do. Like she is stepping up because once Curtis and TJ filled her in on the bartender and what they were planning and what they were talking about potentially doing, Portia said no because if anybody's gonna ruin their life or if anybody's gonna jeopardize their freedom and career to save Trina, she feels it should be her and not TJ. So she pretty much ordered TJ to stand down and not, try to bring Oz out of the coma. Um, I don't blame her because a parent is going to do whatever they can for their child. And it's still not too late to save Trina because we don't know which way the jury is going to go on this. They can go either way and they're still deliberating. So as long as they haven't entered a verdict, there's still time to change their mind, and get something to where to sway them even more into Trina's favor. And, Portia was like, the hell with it. That's my daughter. I'm going to, risk my freedom. I'm going to risk my career to save her. She just wanted TJ and Curtis to stay out of it. She didn't want them to jeopardize their future. And, Curtis wasn't going to do that. Curtis said, listen, I consider Trina my family. Lord, if you only knew. If he only knew. But he said, I consider her my family too. And I'm not letting you do this alone. So I got your back. That's what I like about Curtis. Like, that man just don't care. Like, listen, he always down to break a few laws. Like, he for the greater good, Curtis don't give a damn. But I respect it. A parent is going to do what a parent got to do to save their child. And that's pretty much what Portia's doing. So, I can't fault her for that. So, moving on from that, I'm glad Dante's starting to look more into career advancement. Because I definitely feel like he thought about it more after that conversation he had with Mac about one day becoming chief of detectives one day and stuff when Mac is retiring. He's starting to look more into it, about career advancement. I'm glad he is. He was worried because there was an out of town assignment that I guess Jordan had wanted him to take at some point that he didn't want to take, that he passed down because he felt like he couldn't do that to Rocco. Like, now is not the time for him to be leaving out of town for a little while. On a case, he needs to stay local for his son. I respect it. He was worried that was going to jeopardize his, future promotion or whatever. And, Jordan had to reassure him, like, no, it's not going to jeopardize nothing. It shouldn't. And I'm glad that it won't because I'm glad Dante's starting to look at that. Like, moving up into PCPD. He's been there for 10 plus years now. So it's like, he's been there for what, 12 years? So it's like, start moving up, becoming chief of D's or a lieutenant or sergeant, something, I don't see why not. So anyway, moving on from that, Jocelyn was annoying my freaking soul. Jocelyn was getting on my nerves. Like, she just keeps bringing up Sonny every 5 seconds. Oh, what he did to our family. And I'm glad Carly kept trying to talk her out of this little stupid revenge stuff that she got in her mind. Carly was like, let it go. She was like, I'm moving on with my life. Like, I'm not worried about what Sonny's doing. You don't need to focus on Sonny. She was like, all this anger and revenge that you have against Sonny, put that energy somewhere else. Put all that anger somewhere else. And I totally agree with Carly on that. Jocelyn needs to leave this alone because it's only going to lead down a path of nowhere. You know what I mean? People have tried to get revenge on Sonny or inserted themselves in his business, and it did not end well for a lot of people. And she's only 18 years old, so back off of this before you mess around and get hurt. I'm telling you. This ain't the beef that she wants right now. So of course Sonny sent Dex to go talk to that juror, the foreman or whatever, to go and rattle his cage to make sure that Trina gets a not guilty verdict. Dex was pinning his ass up against the wall, and of course Jocelyn walked out and saw him, and she assumed that Sonny sent them, and he was quiet about it. He said, I ain't got nothing for you. I definitely feel like they're probably gonna mess around and put her with Dex at some point. Find a way to get them together and whatnot. I want to know Dex's backstory, like who he is, like, cause we don't really know a lot about him, other than the fact that he's a double agent. I wouldn't be surprised either if he's a triple agent. Who knows? He might be playing Michael and Sonny. Never know. And of course, Jocelyn was on her little high horse when she went back into Kelly's to tell Carly what happened. Carly wasn't even shocked that Sonny sent somebody to rough up a jury member. She wasn't shocked. And Jocelyn sitting there, oh, it's not right. Jocelyn, go sit down. Get off your little high moral ground and go sit down somewhere. She always on that little high horse of hers. Oh, it ain't right. But she had no problem before using Sonny's name. But now all of a sudden, oh, it ain't right what he does. Come on now. Stop the foolishness. And again, Carly had to talk some sense into her. She was like, well, you know, what Trina going to prison ain't right either. And Sonny's doing whatever he got to do to make sure that does not happen. And she asked Jocelyn, what are you planning on doing with this new information? And Jocelyn, I guess, you know, was like, I'm going to drop it. And that's a smart move on her part. Drop it. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? Mind your business. Like, focus on your friend. At least he's doing something to try and help your friend. That's what everybody's doing right now. They're risking a lot to get Trina off. You know, Sonny's sending his people, Portia committing crimes and whatnot, and unethical behavior. All in the name of getting Trina free. It is what it is. You know, a lot of people are risking a lot of things to get her out. And I'm here for it, you know. So Dex went back, you know, Sonny was asking him what happened, how'd it go, and you know, he reported back to Sonny on what happened. And you know, the fact that Jocelyn caught him and whatnot. And, you know, Sonny sent him home. You know, Sonny was like, all right, take the rest of the night off. So, of course, Dex calls Michael because Dex wants to renegotiate their deal now. My thing with Dex and Michael is I feel like they're meeting too frequently. They're meeting way too much. Like, they need to cut these meetings short between the two of them because that's too much meeting for me. I'm like, somebody going to catch y'all ass. And people are already suspicious of Dex. So, you don't need nobody else catching y'all together. Lord knows, because that's just gonna put a pin in whatever plan Michael has. So he needs to relax all that meeting. And Sonny's guy, who he sent to watch Dex, pretty much told him that Dex didn't leave anything out of the story when he was recounting what happened with the jury member. He pretty much told him, you know, Dex didn't leave nothing out the story. He carried it out to the T. My thing with Dex is, and I would be suspicious if I was Sonny, the fact that when Sonny was telling Dex what to do, like, Dex was asking him, oh, why are you doing this? See, that's the problem with employees. Y'all ask why too much. It's why is not in your repertoire. Don't worry about the why. Just do. That's what you hired for. Just do. So anyway, moving on from that. That, you know what? I don't blame Sasha for going off the way she did, because Smoltz was a son of a bitch. Smoltz is the worst sleazy reporter I've ever seen in my life. Like, he's willing to ruin this woman's life all in the name of building his career. Like, that is some messed up stuff. Then had the nerve to ask her, oh, if you, like, did you, get back on drugs after the death of your son? Like, that was a low blow. That was a real low blow. Then he's sitting there talking about something, oh, if you, he'll drop the Harmony Miller act if she'll admit that she was high or whatever. Like, he is being so ridiculous. Like, I hated the way that he treated her. Like, he was treating her like dirt underneath his shoe just for a headline and story that was gonna prop up his career. Like, that is some messed up stuff. That is low. And Sasha just said, you know what? Fuck this. Sasha lost it. Like, she just grabbed that sign, that parking lot sign or whatever, and started bashing his windshield with it. I wish she would have bashed his little ass with it. Beat the mess out of him. You know, Brando had to come in and stop her, and she was just telling Brando, leave me alone. Like, she was having a whole meltdown, just sobbing, all of that, just having a total meltdown. You know, Dante had to come, and of course, Smoltz little smarmy ass talking about, oh, I'm pressing charges. That was such a dickhead move. Like, you really gonna press charges on this girl? Like, really? Like, you know, he knows what she been through with drugs, the death of her son. Like, he knows all of this, and he don't even care. That is some foul shit. Like, that is foul. He need to get his. Like, somebody need to do something to him. So, you know, Dante had no choice but to arrest her. And Brando was trying to do whatever he could to convince Jordan to, you know, drop the situation. But Jordan was like, well, shit, I can't drop it. Smoltz is, you know, pressing charges. There's nothing I can do. Because Brando knows Sasha's not going to make it in prison. Well, in jail overnight. She's not going to make it in a holding cell. Like, she has mental health, a lot going on right now. Drugs, mental health, the loss of their child. Like, all of this is busting at the seams right now. She's not going to make it. And he's doing whatever he can to try to get her out. But she's going to have to stay in that cell for the night. And it's not looking good. You know, Dante was trying to tell her, well, you could counter sue, you know, something. But she not going to make it. You know, Sonny offered to come down there, but there ain't really nothing he could do. I feel bad for her. But you know what? Hopefully this is the wake-up call that Sasha needs to get her life back together. Because she's, you know, losing it. And she need to get it together. That was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Have a great day. Peace.